Hello, everyone. Welcome to my channel. Imagine this. You're on vacation, and you discover that your partner has been unfaithful. Is it time to book that permanent vacation away from the cheating spouse? Tune in today on our Space Op Plays to hear more. Today's case study is a husband, aged 40, who has been married for 15 years. He suspects his wife, aged 40, of cheating on him while he's on vacation with the kids. So, he's trying to figure out what to do. I've just discovered that my wife has been cheating on me for about 3 or 4 months. I'm not 100% sure, but it's pretty clear. We've just started a family vacation with our kids out of state. I'm torn about what to do. Should I confront her now, or just wait until the trip is over in 7 days? I've put a lot of effort into booking this trip. I live in Anon. I'm in a fault divorce zone. If that makes any difference to your advice. Thanks for the advice. I'm going to try to keep it together for the vacation. I'll try to gather concrete evidence and start contacting a lawyer. I can see her texting him while we are doing family stuff. I just want to grab her phone and throw it off a cliff. The big problem is that I didn't sleep more than half an hour. I don't see how I can keep it going 6 more days. I've got proof on the phone. Thanks so much for all your help and guidance through this difficult time. It's incredible what a group of anonymous strangers can do here. Here's that advice you were looking for. Gringo Mommy starts us off. I'd say keep it yourself for now. There's no need to ruin the vacation for your kids. That said, you should get the ball rolling on getting a divorce lawyer. Perhaps you could get a private eye to look into it. They can find out if she's been unfaithful. The deleted user says it's unlikely she'd do it on holiday, especially with the kids around. You should speak to her as soon as you get back. I'm sorry to hear that. Stay strong. The PNW says that if she's been unfaithful, it won't affect anything in a no. If you can, get it documented on the paperwork. My ex also cheated. Continue with the vacation, but use this time to book a consultation with a lawyer and start collecting financial documents like pay stubs, bank statements, and financial records. New Arrival 9860 says to get a meeting with a lawyer. Let her know that without proof, you're going to file for divorce. Total verifiable no contact should be a boundary. She lost her privacy right when she decided to cheat on you and lie to you repeatedly. Make sure the lawyer knows about the repair partner being a drug addict. You need to protect your kids. She's almost certainly staying with family and friends so she can communicate with her repair partner. To protect your kids, she'll probably say she's staying with family or friends so she can chat with her partner. As you said, she'll likely still meet him. She should be able to tell you where she's staying, but she won't because she doesn't want you to find her. You can't rely on her family friend to keep her secrets. This friend might already know about the affair and be helping her. He also can't rule out the possibility that this is a continuation of things that happened when he was her student. It might be a long-term thing. Firstly, I'm sorry. A vacation is meant to be a time to relax and unwind. You're going to need a vacation from your vacation. I think you're getting some solid advice on waiting before you say anything. Collect the evidence, gather yourself together, and let your kids enjoy the vacation. It's just a shame you weren't able to get advice from your wife. She's a 41-year-old woman who won't stop talking to a fair partner, even though I'm a 40-year-old male and asked her to stop. A couple of days into a family vacation with my wife and 2 kids, I posted some advice on a relationship forum that I'd been keeping quiet until we got back. Once the kids were asleep, I confronted my wife about what was going on. She refused to admit that anything was wrong, even though I was pretty sure that something was going on. I thought she'd admit it eventually, but she wouldn't. I told her that I'd read her text messages. I told her what I saw, and only then did she admit that she was having an affair. She tried to downplay it, though, saying that her partner was a drug addict. He was 25, male, and a former student of hers. She's a high school teacher, and they shared an emotional connection because he lost a friend and she lost her mother a couple of years ago. She admitted that it went too far and that it got physical. She's ashamed, and it seemed like she was genuinely sorry for what she did. So, yes, she was unfaithful. It was a full-blown emotional and then physical affair. I told her I wanted her to end it if we were going to reconcile. She didn't do anything that night as it was late and slept in a different room the next day. I told her again that she had to end it, and I wanted to be there when it happened. She sent him a short text saying that it was in the interest of my family that they stop seeing each other, but there was no response at that time. It was a pretty weak breakup. She went to spend the night at a family friend's place, as I said I needed space and no contact with a fair partner. Well, at least no contact by phone or text. The next day I asked if a fair partner wrote back. She said no, he didn't write back and that he won't. I told her that I don't believe that he didn't write back and that I want proof. They are over. She says she doesn't want to phone him because it is already over. She refuses to let me see her. I don't think it's right to call her, though, because it's her privacy. The next day, she sends me a text saying she got a response from her partner with a snapshot of the text history. It was such a polite response. Okay, best of luck to you and your family. I'm certain this was a fabrication. Who ends a passionate relationship like that? I was really hoping that reconciliation would be an option after the initial confrontation, but this looks like a full-on affair. I don't believe a word she says. I told her I don't buy that they can end it like that so abruptly and politely. After the connection they had, she insists there is nothing else she can show me. I guess she is deleting her text now, so perhaps that is true. She wants to spend the night at her family friend's place again because she feels suffocated staying in the house. I am certain they will meet looking for some advice, or maybe reassurance on what I should do. I'm trying to set up a meeting with a lawyer. Should I just let her do her thing and get on with planning for divorce? I'm trying to catch her out and gather more evidence. Should I get the family friend involved? I'm not sure if I can even trust them. The fact that she's deleting her messages and saying that she feels suffocated staying in the house is a red flag. I think I would continue planning for the divorce. I'd remain cautious and update my D. It was just over a month ago that I had my first meeting with my wife. She was 17 at the time and showed me a fake text exchange with her 25-year-old affair partner. She kept talking to him over the next 2 weeks, even though she was pretending to be working on reconciliation. I had the phone records, as some people here suggested, but I didn't want to share them in case she saw the thread. I continued to monitor the situation. I was at a loss as to what I should do with my life. I was honest and said I didn't know if I wanted to reconcile or separate, but I was definitely leaning towards the latter. We've been sleeping in different rooms and staying in the same house with our kids. I've been trying to stay out of the way, but she really loves him. She was trying to get me to talk, but she wasn't doing a great job at reconciliation. I sent her some links I found here about how cheaters can help heal the relationship, but she said it doesn't really apply because the people it talks about did worse things than she did. I found it way too one-sided. She kept blaming me and telling lies. I told her I didn't believe the breakup, but she said it was over and didn't know how to prove it. I started meeting a lawyer and going to individual counseling. It was our wedding anniversary a week ago, so I thought it would be a good time to confront her. The second gesture for confrontation was a card she left by my bed in the morning, but I refused to touch it. I didn't want to read any lies. I didn't get anything because there was nothing to celebrate. Later in the day, I just told her I made up my mind and wanted to separate. I said, I know you've been talking with a friend. My partner said, no way, it's over and he's blocked. I said, I can see a record of every phone call and text message you've received and sent on your phone. I know for a fact that you've been talking and texting to him for hours every day, including today on our anniversary. How am I to trust anything you ever say again? She admitted it. I have been talking to him, but it's nothing like you think. It's just a bit of friendly advice. His aunt committed suicide, so he needed someone to talk to about it. I said, you're still lying. This is why I want to separate. We can't trust each other anymore. I don't care if you contact him afterwards. She was very shaken up. It has been a week of pretty constant crying and self. It's a shame she's ashamed and embarrassed for what she's done and has kind of hit rock bottom. I think she finally realized the relationship with the affair partner and feelings she had were superficial and is now seeing the destruction and mess that it has caused. She could end up losing her home and half her time with the kids, which is especially hard for her. If the truth comes out, she'll be labeled a cheater and a family destroyer and lose many of. If the truth about her affair comes out, she could lose her job. She hasn't been telling her friends and family the truth, even her therapist. She's also been telling me she has suicidal thoughts. I'm not sure if this is true or if she's trying to manipulate me. I think it is the latter. I've been trying to get her family involved to help. It seems like the last week has been all about her. I have to remind her that I've been going through hell too. She thinks what she's going through is worse because she now accepts that this was her fault. I'm pretty certain she finally stopped talking to her affair partner. She said some pretty authentic sounding admissions of how she fell into the affair and was addicted to the attention. She only now realizes how stupid she was. She said she didn't even think about the effect on me, that I was living two separate lives and was under the illusion that they would just stay disconnected and that it would eventually end and I would never know. I still don't know exactly how to process that there are still a lot of details that she has refused to clear up. I don't know how long the affair lasted. I'm pretty sure it started around February, but she says it was only 1 or 2 months. She refuses to admit they had sex. I got STI tested just in case. I really don't like that I can't get the truth unless she's confronted with irrefutable evidence. This includes the fake breakup texts, the months of lying, the gaslighting during marriage counseling, and the lack of remorse. All of this points to separation as the only option. Her phone is still locked. My end goal is to have an amicable separation with joint custody and keep the door slightly ajar for possible reconciliation down the road. You probably wonder why, but this whole episode this is very out of character for her. I believe she was suffering from depression and was partially taken advantage of. I want to give her the chance to fix herself, but she needs to do it on her own. I need space and time to see if I can ever forgive her. The problem is that we still live together and I do care about her. I definitely want her to get help and not kill herself. I think a lot of her problem is fear of the unknown and ripping apart our codependency. This has kept our home so stable until now, but part of me fears this as well. Should I just check her into a mental institution, or should I be offering more support? Have other partners acted in a similar way when their affair fog is lifted and put all the attention on themselves? I'm guessing so because narcissists are narcissists. Does anyone have experience with nesting arrangements where spouses take turns in the matrimonial home? That's the end of my rant. Thanks. Sometimes, people just say things without thinking to manipulate their partner who was cheated on. Rather than working on the relationship and trying to reconcile, she's playing the victim. It seems like she's just upset that she got caught. As a recap, I'm currently going through the separation and divorce process, but I'm still living with my wayward wife in the matrimonial home. We have 2 kids. It was about 2 months ago. For details, see my old posts. I've had 2 major confrontations. She only admits anything if I have concrete proof. My wayward wife has been in contact with her affair partner. She says it's over, but I don't believe her. I want to know the truth. Donna deserves to know. It would provide peace of mind. I was snooping through an old tablet and found some conversations that were still active. It's pretty clear that she's still in contact with her affair partner. The name doesn't match the one from before, when the affair partner had a Facebook account, a texting phone number, and was a former student. I only had proof of contact for a couple of months, but I had a feeling it was longer. This guy's older, around 50, and from what I can tell from reading the conversation, he seems more genuine and believable. I found out so many details. It looks like they met through work somehow. He is moving back into town. He knows about me and knows her coworkers. I've also found out that he's divorced and has been helping her through the divorce process. It's been going on for 3 years. This has hit me harder than I thought it could. We're already in the process of separation, and I've accepted that our relationship is over. I don't understand why this feels so horrible. It's like a D-level disaster. This is all starting to feel like déjà vu. I don't think she had 2 affairs. The conversations only started up again after I exposed her the last time. It seems like a fair partner constructed a fake account to communicate. Why would she tell me it was a former student? I mean, maybe that fake account was actually a former student's name, and she has had to go with that excuse. Maybe the former student is actually a clue as to the origins. The affair partner specifically mentioned these 3 wonderful years, so I think they've known each other for even longer. It definitely calls into question everything that's happened in the last year and longer. I'm really angry at my wife for what she's done. I haven't told her yet, but I know she'll never tell me the truth. I'll just have to wait for her to die before I find out what happened to my life. I'll give you a quick update. I've been looking at the evidence against repair partner number 1, and I'm pretty sure he's a different person to affair partner number 2. I think affair partner number 1 was just a fling and is over, whereas affair partner number 2 was more of an emotional affair that has been going on for years. And it seems that they may have only recently become physical. This makes me wonder how many more there are. It feels horrible because it is a horrible situation that no one expects to be in. People expect a loyal partner and a committed relationship. You couldn't have guessed that the twine would have unraveled this far. Laughs 7 months posty, just to give you a quick update. It's been about 6 months since my last update and 7 months since D. I've had several people ask me for an update, so here's a quick summary. I was on vacation this summer and found definitive proof that my wife was cheating on me. After confronting her, she faked a breakup with a affair partner and continued to see him after I confronted her with new proof. I then requested a divorce, but shortly thereafter I found out she had a second affair partner on the go for 3+ years. We have 2 kids in middle school and have been married for 17 years. I didn't have any major breakthroughs since my last post. By that time, I had figured out there were 2 affair partners. At least it basically convinced me that divorce was the only option. I didn't need any more information. This was when I knew I could never trust her again. So, these past 6 months have been about getting a separation. I should mention that I was the one who suggested we get a divorce. She approached me several times over the 6 months to ask me to reconsider, but she never showed any real remorse. I think she was just scared of losing her safety net and thought I was too. She kept saying to remember the good years and to stop thinking in black and white, but this was a clear violation of my boundaries, and I don't see how I could ever trust her again. I refused to let her walk all over me. I refused to sweep her behavior under the rug. I never publicly outed her behavior. I really wanted to at times, but I don't think it gains me anything. I prefer to move forward constructively, as I know that she will remain in my life as mother of my kids, whether I like it or not. We decided to use a mediator in combination with personal lawyers in an attempt to avoid the court system and get a faster and less expensive deal. The process was not super fast, but mostly because she would delay because she didn't really want to proceed and thought I would reconsider. We tried to avoid the court system and get a faster, cheaper deal by using a mediator and personal lawyers. The process wasn't super fast, mostly because she kept delaying because she didn't really want to proceed and thought I would reconsider. It took about 4 months from choosing the mediator until her agreement was signed. We got a pretty fair payout to help jumpstart my new life. I managed to keep most of my assets, but it did require being amicable enough to discuss issues without losing our temper. We were living together the entire time in separate bedrooms, so that helped. I was making good use of the gray rock strategy and would avoid conversation unless absolutely necessary. Initially, I had problems with her continuing to go on, but I got through it. We agreed to go out with friends at random on nights when we didn't have notice. We set up an alternate night schedule so we could better plan our activities when we're out of the house. I used my time to start meeting up with some old friends, do old hobbies, and start some new hobbies. Basically, I was working on myself. I had been keeping my eye on the real estate. We decided that she would buy me out of the home. The matrimonial home was full. I was really happy with her design decisions and stuff, but it didn't have a strong attachment to any of these things. So I felt it would be better for me to get a fresh start around the end of the year. It was evident that our agreement was really close, so I started seriously looking for a new place. I found one on the market that was a perfect fit in the same school zone, so I bought it after consulting with a lawyer. I signed the agreement with a lawyer in January and moved into my new place in February. I spoke with some friends who had gone through the courts, and it seems like I got out pretty easily. It's pretty common to wait 2 to 4 years before an agreement here, especially with crazy lawyer fees. So far, my head feels better not having to be in her presence. The kids are doing really well and are excited about having a new place. It's been easier to break free of the codependence after 20 years of living together than I thought it would be. I don't really care what my ex does anymore, although the day I moved out was really hard on her. She was so upset that she called me over to pick up some stuff I'd forgotten, but it was actually a trap to talk to me. She told me that she'd seen her ex the other day and that he owed her money. She asked for it back, and he attacked her and gave her a bruise on her arm. I told her I was sorry and that she should charge him with assault. I had to buy the kids some fast food because she couldn't function or feed them. I left and went back to my own place. I haven't heard anything since. I don't think she did anything wrong. I don't know what is real or not. I'm pretty sure my kids are safe when they are with her. She has not exposed them to anyone yet, and I was able to get that written into our agreement. My main interactions now with X are all kid-related and financial-related stuff like dropping off kids' extracurricular equipment weekly or sharing kids' expenses. I don't find myself reading this much anymore. I've moved on to divorce subreddits and now more recently dating subreddits. I think I may be ready to start dating again. I've been pursuing a few interests and this has been exciting, although not successful yet. I'm not sure if I even have time to date as I have been keeping super busy with I've been focusing on my hobbies, but I feel very comfortable with myself. I don't know how to explain it, but it feels like I may be ready. The best way to explain it is that in my interactions with people, I no longer feel as though I am faking my own happiness. I think this makes it easier to connect with new people. So, that's my update. Thanks to all who have commented on my previous posts. I have to say a big thank you to this community for keeping me on track throughout this whole process. Infidelity is a brutal blow, but I honestly feel like I'm coming out of it as a better and stronger person than I was before. It sounds like you're well on your way. I'm proud of you for saying that you refuse to be a doormat. I think that's a remarkable act of self-love and self. I think it's fair to say that we can feel great and see positive changes in our lives when we're not around toxic people. You're in a new phase of your life, and it sounds like there's a lot of potential here. When we're genuinely happy, it's a wonderful feeling, isn't it? I wish you all the best, OP. What are your thoughts? If you have a similar story, please let us know in the comments below. Thank you for watching my channel. Please like, subscribe, and enable notifications so you don't miss out on our next video. If you'd like to hear more stories from me, please check out our lounge, where I feature a larger variety of If you have a story about a cheater, please share it.